Anywho, hello, this is Chris. Today is Saturday, December the 25th at 8:55 p.m. 127 degrees Celsius. Could be a little warm out today, so be careful. No worries. Last we checked off, I bought batteries at the dollar store for my Amigas, which resulted in imminent failure. So I went out and picked up some energizers for $15 freaking for 6. So that means they're going to work better. They're good until 2032, when I will be well on Social Security. Omnibot also had a 2032 from the dollar store, and it too has failed. Which leads me to my next inspection, the Amiga 4000. I'm going to decommission that, move it over here to the Dell where I can do both modes in VGA, remove its clothes, give it an inspection, and check on my fans that are inside. That was extremely heavy. As you can see, it's now 11 degrees, which is significantly cooler than the 100 and whatever there was. This is Amiga 4000 serial number 439. Sorry, I'm out of breath. I moved. I'm going to pop the top on this puppy, which is 2 screws. One here. Which is 1 screw. Sliding the cover off of this one. Today's birthday for the Amiga 4000 is August 24th, 1992. Inside of here we have the Sunrise 801012 16-bit sound card, which I think I'm going to take out, because I took my inputs out of it and I have not used it since. Ouch! Make sure you break your guides off when you do that. Underneath here is a GVP Great Valley Products EGS 2824 Rev 5. And I'm going to remove it so I can check the goodies underneath. Yes, I still have to repair my SIM sockets. I'm getting there. Upon further inspection, I am just going to check the battery voltage right now. Everything else has been working very well, and after the 3000 disassembly, I'm just going to give her a once-over, and 0.01. 0.01. That would explain why this clock also is not working. Remember, kids, don't do what I do. eFast brand batteries are just total trash. We're going to test this battery out the gate here. Nope. You were there. You were there. 3.26. That's a good sign. We'll pop that back in the bucket. And we're good to go. We'll test the voltage off the rail. 3.27. Gained a little bit. We have an amazingly white 4000 with an amazingly white 4000 keyboard. I have a 60. I'm going to tilt this forward because it never did work when I use this. I always have to give her a slap. We have a IDE Sony white DVD. She's IDE. We have the awesome CD-ROM sound cable, fished down, rocked over to our audio inputs where I moved a pin over. Check out a previous video on that. Just reflection and cleanliness. Caught me off surprise. Look at that. Look at that shine. Anyway, this is a IDE to SD. You've heard of the SCSI to SD. Similar to other compact flash based 4-pin Berg 16 gigabyte card inside. She's extra tight for stability and reliability. Actually, it's just threaded through the bottom and it's just sitting on a felt pad in the original hard drive case. Underneath you will find, like I said, this 60mm fan that I just shoved into the side of the case. The 4000 does not have enough room for the 40mm in the front. There used to be a 40mm fan physically on the 3640 itself. It either fell off or I removed it. As you can see by the 372.8 miles of cabling, there's not a lot of room for cooling. Go figure. So what I did was I shoved everything I could to the side, and I just basically tickled this card in there on an angle, and it is loud, yes, and just kind of do that and let it blow. Let it blow, let it blow, let it blow. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my solar power setup. I want to show you how this works. So a long time ago, maybe last year sometime, I did a video on the GVP Spectrum. This is a standard VGA cable from the Dell. The Dell monitor does a signal range from 15 to 140 something kilohertz. So this goes in here for your 15 kilohertz mode. This fancy pinout from the GVP manual, which I linked on that video, goes into your RGB 23 port. And this, in turn, I guess I could have made it a little shorter. You know, it only had to go an inch, but I figured 6 feet was a good length. This then plugs into here. This takes the GVP Spectrum 15, does some science and math, shoots it out the 31 kilohertz. You have to have a monitor that supports multi-scan, multi-sync, and Bob's your uncle. I actually have an Uncle Bob. Underneath of here is a USB network card. It's the iComp. As you can tell, it's noisy. That noise is my CD doing something. This is in a 15 kilohertz mode. If I press return, watch this. She'll go to 31, shoot out the VGA. It's clear. Press space key between PAL and NTSC. Dell, no problem. Space bar, here comes PAL. There you go. Space bar again. PAL, go back to 15 kilohertz. It's a little off. Okay, fine. Just boot. Now we'll let it boot like it normally does. We're going to double check the GVP card. Make sure everything's groovy. This is a slower booting machine with the GVP card in there. Something about the science behind the scenes that happens. I don't know. It just does. There we go. There's a pause, and then she's beautiful. Where's my nice picture that I did put back on? You know, this is actually a pretty comfortable mouse, even though it looks like a weird toe. I don't know. So there's my beach scene. She's all good. 4000's trucking along. We're going to check for newer versions of Flash Floppy from Keir Fraser. All of my bits and bobs seem to be working. We're going to leave the Ady 1202 Sunrise sound card out for now because I have not been using it. Don't want to leave it, keep powering it if I don't use it. There's no reason. Christmas clock. We're going to turn this off. I'm going to unplug it. I'm going to unplug it. Unplug it. There we go. Unplugged. Okay. I'm going to replug it. I'll turn it on. We're going to let it boot. We're going to see if it's still Christmas time. There we go. And the time of day is December 23rd, 9:24 p.m. We're about a minute behind here. This says 9:25, but, you know, still good. 11 degrees Celsius. 2 for 2 on batteries. As I've shown before, this is serial number 439. This was purchased out of Westchester. It was on the old QVC set, 000439. So this was a Westchester Amiga 4000. I don't know if it was originally left in the Commodore building and QVC just picked her up for video production work. On my Amiga 4000 repair videos from this unit, when it was purchased, you can see that there was actually footage from QVC on the Sunrise Studios sound card. Not the video stuff. It did have a personal animation recorder and a TBC4, which Doug has in his possession now. And hopefully one day we'll be able to see what that thing does, because I don't really know about that. So I would like to see how that works. Power supply has been recapped. I've done that maybe in a previous video. All of my capacitors have been visually inspected. I have heat sinks on everything under here. She's got more bling than Mr. T. 3640's been blinged out. Everything looks good. Checked, checked, checked. Yep. These caps are less than 1 year old. They're all Panasonics. Organic polymers. But I just took a red marker and filled the rest of them in because why not? Actually, I did the red marker so I knew I replaced them. So we're going to tune this up by removing the white cat hair, giving it the old blow. We're good. One final tune-up I did want to do was, I have this scratch right here. There's nothing I can do about it, but I did remove my rubber feet. I am replacing them with felt pads, but I'm double stacking the felt pads. I got these at the old Walmart, 60 pieces. I've used them on all of my Amigas, and then give her a stick. These ones fit perfect. So if your rubber feet on your Amigas have turned to total goo, go ahead and pick yourself up some of these felt pads. They're great. They fit in those little slots pretty good. There we go. I also give my bottom of my case, along with my entire case, where I touch bare metal, a wipe over with some IPA. That's isopropyl alcohol. If you're new to the whole cleaning scene and you're wondering, why do I keep hearing these words? I just give it a wipe over with IPA. Why? The oils in your skin will erode the metal and cause weird things to happen, especially on the inside of your lid. If you take your lids off, the insides of your lids will look like Fingerprint City. This can also happen to the metal cases, like the shielding cases on the in other Amigas. So now this will sit nicely. Once the monitor is on here, we'll get a couple little bits of weight, but she's all clean. And let's put her back over on the other side. It's back in the crowded area here. Got the mouse extra tangled up, 2000 shoved in the corner. I do have the monitor plugged into the power supply. Has that double thing. That'll turn the monitor on also. It doesn't power the monitor off the power supply if you're ever wondering about that. It grabs through the mains. New batteries in both. Forgot to plug in my USB hub. Remember, she boots slow. It's 1992. But to show you that my 3000 boots pretty quick too. I don't know. Now it comes up. Blank has a checksum error. Well, kiss my butt. That's fine. Time. 10 o'clock on that one. 9:59. So we set it a minute ahead and it's been holding. Yay for batteries. Did you know, useless bit of information, the cord on the Amiga 3000 and the Amiga 4000 is set so when you push the cord to the side, there's the perfect even part of your keyboard on both sides. Useless bit of information. How do you know this? It's work there. We're good to go. We're going to go ahead and turn that one off because that doesn't need to be on. Hasta la pasta on that. I reboot this and turn it off, and that is maintenance complete on the 4 and the 3. Then we're going to tackle the Furia. We might do an OS 3.2.1 update while we're there. Just totally blow it up, yell, piss herself off. That's the way of the Furia. And then we'll tackle the 1200, make sure it's okay. All the caps are still capped. Then we're going to move over to Grandpa over there and just do some double checking on that, because I haven't touched a thing on that thing. I just put a Pi Storm in it and let her eat. Those old 1000s, they're pretty daggone reliable. So anyway, that is all I got for now. Thank you for watching this episode, and as always, I hope you learned something.